Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I am bringing for you a first impression. Well, it's a first impression on this particular product, but for me, I don't feel like it's a first impression on the line. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, today for you, I have a first impression of the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Now, this is the new one that has come out. It's not as easy to get your hands on as you might think. The display, like the open display letting me know it was coming, sat at my Walmart for like 2 weeks with nothing in it. Nothing in it. I have it now, so I'm going to do a first impression on this. And the reason why I'm kind of like, I usually don't do first impressions on products because I might love it the moment I put it on, but then a week later I may hate it. But I know that I am so in love with the original Infallible Pro Matte that if it says L'Oreal, if it has Infallible in the name, I'm on board, because usually these never ever disappoint. Never. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna apply this and let's get started. Okay, so to get started with this, I'm going to prime. I just usually always prime. I have a lot of very exaggerated pores, and so I usually like to prime, blur, try to do something to them to cancel them. So usually if I'm using the Pro Matte, the original, I will use a more lotion-based moisturizing primer, but because this is more for dewy, it's slated for dry skin, so I'm going to use the Monistat Chafing Gel cream or chafing gel powder because I have normal skin, but I don't want to get over glowy. Just like when I'm using the matte formula, I don't want to look over dry. Usually with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, I love using my Real Techniques complexion sponge with it because it's a very thick formula. So that's what I'm going to try out with this, just to see if it's any different. I will say, when I shake this, I don't hear it, but when I shake this, I hear it. So I've poured some out on here, and it literally poured. It's not a thick formula, it's pretty runny. So I'm gonna dip into it and let's apply. But oh my gosh, let me tell you this, right off the bat, putting it on, Pro Matte coverage. Yes, 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 look at that. So I'm gonna put some more out here. I would consider what I'm using is a pump. I mean, that's what I would call this, is like one pump at a time. So I've already used one pump. And again, I'm using a blending sponge, so it's going to shear things out just a little bit. Which, honestly, even with these pretty much full foundations, I like the effect I get best from the sponge, you know, just for, you know, every day. Again, I added about a half a pump more just because I want to build it where my melasma is the deepest, my hyperpigmentation. And I do that anytime I wear any foundation in the summertime. Usually, most times I don't build my foundations, but in the summertime, because my hyperpigmentation is so deep, I have, you know, I mean, I don't have to, but I do. So, we're just going to build that here, right where it's the darkest. So basically, I used what I would consider 2.5 pumps. I'm just going to take what's left over on the sponge and blend down my neck to make sure I don't have, I mean, this blends really well with me, honestly. So I don't, but I always, you know, this, it's just force of habit. So, glowy. It's very glowy. I'm not used to seeing that. Most of the time when I do foundation, I either do matte or demi-matte. I like those finishes on me the best. But I do like this formula too. So, here we go. That's a very glowy, but I mean, coverage, come on. I knew it wouldn't disappoint. I knew it. I knew that I didn't have to do a wear test or anything like that. I knew that this foundation would not disappoint me because the Infallible Pro Matte is just so fabulous that I knew that the Pro Matte Glow would be just as fabulous too. So looks really, really good so far. So that's application wise. Evened out my skin tone beautifully. It doesn't set super fast, but it also doesn't set very slow. Where I built it up here, it's still just a tiny bit tacky, but around the perimeter, it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like soft, but it's not super tacky yet. It's almost set. So I would have to say for a dewy skin finish, most of the time I notice that those foundations take forever to set. This one seems to set pretty nice amount of time. I mean, plenty of time to work with it, plenty of time to move it around and get it where you want, and then it pretty much sets. But you can see, woohoo, mama glowy. Very glowy. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'm gonna come back and give you the claims, the deets, and all that stuff. So now that the rest of my face is done, let me give you some claims, some deets, and all that on this foundation. Now this is the Lasting Glow Foundation, never dull, never greasy. It says it gives you a radiant finish, 24 hours of wear, medium coverage, and it's air light. It says make sure to shake well, dot onto skin in a rolling motion for flawless coverage. This does contain an SPF of 15 and is said to be used for normal to dry skin. Now I have normal skin, so again, you know, it works fine for me. Anyway, it does leave behind a pretty dewy, glowy finish. Now I do have some highlight on there, but ignore that. But across my forehead, you know, and down through here, it's definitely a dewy, luminous finish. I did set it just a little bit in my T-zone and of course with my concealer, and just because it is a more dewy foundation, I figured this might move just a little bit sooner. But it does claim that it has 24-hour wear. So it claims that it has medium coverage, definitely has medium coverage with just one layer, definitely medium coverage. I feel that, you know, my freckles are gone, most of my any type of small tiny discoloration is gone. I did build it up some across the places where I have more hyperpigmentation, so it did definitely give me medium coverage. So yay. It is lightweight, feels skin-like, does not feel like you have a lot on. It's not heavy. I don't feel that this gets cakey, but again, this is for people who have normal to dry skin. I think oily skin users, no. Because it is very, and even though I set it a little bit in the T-zone, it's still very radiant. It's very, very soft, kind of almost moisturizing type feeling. I think oily skin, no, this is not gonna be the one for you. I think especially around the nose, that's where people tend to break down the fastest. This is not gonna hold up for you. This is gonna break down very quickly. Stick with the Pro Matte. As for packaging, same great packaging that you get with the original L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. Comes in a squeezy tube. You get 1 fluid ounce. I believe that the Pro Matte line, these tend to run more on the yellow side. So just, you know, be aware of that and keep that in mind, that if you have more of a cool undertone, these tend to run a lot more warm. 12 shades from classic ivory to cocoa. On L'Oreal's website, it retails for $12.99. I purchased mine at Walmart for $10.97. So Walmart, these are $10.97 in my particular area. Again, L'Oreal's website, $12.99. So still though, you know, $11, $13, a little bit more luxurious formulas of foundations at the drugstore. They're gonna run between $10 and $15. For a first impression on this, yay! It's glowy, but not too glowy, which I love. This sets in a reasonable amount of time, about five or so minutes. It's glowy, but it's not too glowy. I think it's perfect for summer. It's great. I think it puts a pretty finish on the skin. Love, love, love it. Super duper thumbs up. You want to go out and get your hands on this for my dry skin and my oily and my dry skin and my normal skin girls. Run out, get your hands on this. You're going to love it if it's in your area. It took forever to get to mine. So anyway, that is my review on the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Love, love, love it. If you are curious as to what is on the rest of my face, Friday's video will go over that. Get a little sneak peek. That's it. That's all you get. You have to watch Friday's video if you want to see what's on the rest of my face. Again, I want to thank you for spending time with me. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to keep up with me and all of my videos and antics on my channels. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.